Son, Jubin. Go! Fight! Touchdown!
You have no idea what's coming.
I had everyone in New York looking for me. I doubt we will see him again.
You know, you stabbed the devil in the back, forced him back into the life that he had just left. You incinerated the priest temple, burnt it to the ground. Now he's free of the martyr. What do you think he'll do? He had a glimpse of the other side, and he embraced it. But you, Senor D'Antonio, took it away from him.
He was already back.
Well, he came back for love, not for you.
He told me I had every right. And now, he's coming again.
He'd tell you not to do this.
Now, if you've seen my previous video regarding John Wick, while impressive, Mafex still left some room to be desired, especially the dull, non-Keanu looking face, and boy did the higher ups at Mafex listen, as the version from the fourth film you're seeing here is an all-around improvement from the face, outfit, to even posability, making Mr. Wick over here the pinnacle of human evolution, truly making me want to suck cock. Did I mention before I'm a John Wick fan?
I have relationships with women and sex with men.
Kimoy. And just by looking at the head, does it show Mafex poured their heart and soul, as rather than the helmet-esque hair that was shown throughout the previous release, Mr. Wick this time around actually possesses a proper hair, as Mr. Wick's smooth, black, and rusty hair is explicitly portrayed, assuring audiences that while John is truly excommunicado, in which he doesn't have the leisure to trim his hair, is nonetheless strong and still fighting, as he actually possesses a growing hair, rather than succumbing to age and becoming bald. But the highlight of the head is none other than the face, as while the previous iteration of John was literally an autumn from Doctor Who, in which Mafex seems to have got the hint, as this time around, they, rather than just doubling down on the imperfect sculpt Bandai, they went back to the design room and redone the entire sculpt, and what you get is this beauty here. And looking closely at the face, they truly did replicate Keanu's more weathered and worn out face, as you have the big and spacious forehead that connects to Mr. Wick's highly defined eyebrows. This is in addition to the eyes that, while not the best regarding definition, is still well defined and a vast improvement over the previous iteration. You also can't mention the large Caucasian nose that, with its high definition, making it a point of interest that anime waifus and kaijus would blush over. This is in addition to the dried up lips that, compared to even Star Wars figures, is highly detailed and is something that anime waifus could only dream of possessing. And what is a man if not for his beard, as rather than the dark and low-res Bushmaster that was seen from the previous iteration, this time around Mafex got pretty close to accurately depicting Mr. Wick's facial hair, as the slightly tall sideburn is well ratioed, with the skin becoming thick in the mustache and beard areas, similar to how he was depicted on screen. But if you're not content with the current face and want Mr. Wick to undergo more pain and suffering, typical NTR fans, there is this alternative combat face, which is a far contrast from the relatively clean and groomed out of the box face and much more gritty in its expression. Such traits are highlighted through the front hair covering more of the forehead and slightly covering the left eye, the further crossed eyebrows and anger-filled eyes that instill fear into would-be corpses, and a slightly open mouth with John portraying his anger that all culminates in the face that would make even Palpatine cry in fear. When moving down to Mr. Wick's dread, John seems to abide to a traditional two-button black colored suit that is composed of the bulletproof polyester steel that acts to protect the Baba Yaga from your run-of-the-mill small arms fire, and rather than the clean run-of-the-mill and well-ironed charcoal gray suit that was depicted in the previous iteration, with John being excommunicado and on the run, such luxuries that John had for a suit are no longer prevalent, resulting in the withered and gritty all-black suit that perfectly symbolizes John's fall from grace to become the true embodiment of the Baba Yaga. Such transformation is portrayed through the increased definition on the jacket that, while was present in the previous iteration, current version has up the details as the 2 buttons, the pockets placed throughout, the various stripes, and the added wrinkles seen throughout the jacket, truly adding to the authenticity of the jacket, but also highlights the hell that John Wick had to go through. But that isn't the only implementation of extra drip, as this time around, John also wears his trusty undertunic that, just like the jacket, that retains the all-black color scheme and the 4K HDR buttons that suits Mr. Wick's overall suit fashion, while providing extra protection from small arms fire at either close range or a direct shot by a skilled assassin. But maybe the biggest improvement are the implementation of butterfly joints that, with the lack of any of the previous incarnation, limited the range of gung fu that John was a master at. But come and behold, Mafex listened to the excess bitching from thousands of man-children. Hello, I'm one of those man-children, in which while the organic structure of the jacket was sacrificed, it more than makes up for it with the diverse poses that Mr. Wick is able to pull off, from pistols, rifles, shotguns, to even LMGs, making this iteration ever more closer to the weapon of mass destruction that John Wick is, and won't hesitate in killing anything that moves, from stormtroopers, magicians, Jedis, vampires, to little girls. Moving down, I'm straight, but even I'm getting wet.
Why are you gay?
And can't forget the
Great ass!
personal taste aside, the legs contribute to John Wick's dick are Mr. Wick's thick thighs that not only add to holding John's massive ass, but also propel him to pull off the various moves, from the Saku kick to the finishing stomp that makes the other male characters in my roster look like they just escaped North Korea. And as a cherry on top are those stylish shiny black outfits that not only highlight Mr. Wick's fondness for the classic suit wear, but also his massive feet that puts the big G a run for his money. When observing what Mr. Wick has at his disposal, and such moves are brought to you by Mr. Wick's accompanying hands, which are numerous to say the least. And if you had a keen eye, John's left index or ring finger, for you casuals, is missing for the price he had to pay, in which every left hand here lacks the said index finger. Besides the out-of-the-box open hands, the eye or fist for fisting, there are these holding hands to wield the katana, alternative holding hands to also wield the katana or nunchakus, trigger hands to wield the flintlock pistol, curved palms to either show off John's wrist or wield a sidearm, bigger trigger hands to wield John's sidearm, thumbs up holding hands to honor John's action movie predecessors, wide open hands for your casual sekahara, and bloody injured hands that are disgustingly well represented with the blood-soaked wrappings that are perfect when John is about to handle some vengeance.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
But if you want to relive the bittersweet memories, there is this alternative piece that, by removing the torso, placing this tactical belt, attaching the shirt-only torso, placing the desired hands, and the head, you get John when he's in his final duel.
Let my heart bravely spread the wings, soaring past the night.
And looking closely at the design, it's more or less your standard salaryman uniform with the white shirt that, while impressive with the various wrinkles placed throughout, fails to live up to what was the black suit, as the joints and crevices placed throughout, while providing added flexibility, does ruin the authenticity of the sculpt, in which John here looks like an alternate rather than the Baba Yaga. On the other hand, the tactical belt that, with the multiple pockets, is impressive, but not as good as those seen on his competitors. But overall, the alternate form is still impressive, and if you have a particular figure down the line, it's likely to be a great companion for the collection.
I'm going to need a gun.
I thought you'd never ask. 9mm pit viper, 21-round capacity magazine with a built-in compensator for virtually no muzzle flip, fiber optic front sight, ambidextrous safeties, flared magwell for faster reloads, 2-pound extreme trigger, and for those more, how should we say, intimate encounters, this viper has ferocious fucking fangs.
And moving back in time, when rather than settling disputes through Twitter posts, real men settled their grievances through Duel, in which the Thompson Center Arms Encore is a nostalgia trip back to those civilized times. And just like the Pit Viper, Mafex sure has a fetish for guns, as the metallic trigger is a chef's kiss alongside the wooden handle and barrel holder. That fully convinces me that the pistol can truly fire a 44 Magnum round and take down not only the men, but the women and children too. But if John runs dry and is left with no other choice but to use conventional means, there are these nunchakus that are two separate wooden painted pieces attached by a metallic chain that proves to be fruitful in eliminating soft-skinned hostiles, but are hard to pose and personally wish they added an additional firearm instead. But if threat levels are raised to Lovecraftian entities, Mr. Wick has to keep up the ante, in which the chrome black axe is the key. And while I'm not a fan of axes, even I have to acknowledge the artistry that is involved, as the paint job is smoothly applied, reinforcing the weapon that is an instrument of death. This is in addition to the weapon's peculiar design, as while the front is more or less akin to any axes out in the market, the rear tells a completely different tale. And the small sharp bulge is not only there to show off, but acts in penetrating either the thick bulletproof armor worn by hostiles, but also the skeletal structure in which the weight of the axes pushes into to exert pressure, resulting in the complete pulverization. So let's say if Lovecraftian romance isn't your type, just use this axe and you'll see immediate results. But if you want a weapon from a more civilized time, Japan has that covered, as John Wick was bestowed by Lord Toranaga the weapon of the samurai, a katana, which John used to great effect. And if you've seen any of my previous figures that came with a katana, Japanese toy manufacturers love to add extra details to the cultural weapon, in which the one bestowed to John is no different. Such excess details are portrayed through the clean and shiny curved blade that signifies this blade is a virgin, and the handle in which the signature carvings are inscribed, with each pattern retaining their individual paint job, all of which combine into a melee weapon that is sharp enough to slice and dice man and Lovecraftian beings alike. As John Wick being an IRL adult male with a ripped body, whom in real life stands at 1.86 meters, he is surely a big boy, and Mafex, just like before, embodied the screen accuracy, as Mafex's iteration of John stands at roughly 16 centimeters or 6.3 inches tall, making Mr. Wick here a big boy that stands above your typical anime high schoolers and stands toe to toe with either your mechanical cyborgs or the big G. Here's Mr. Wick next to Gunpla, Man and Machine, Kaijus, the previous iteration of John Wick, and the next generation. If you've been a fan of this channel, it is riddled with mostly SH figure art Star Wars figures or Figma fake galore, in which both lines have proved to possess a great range of posability, minus a few exceptions. But a Mafex figure is a rare sight, in which the previous one, while retaining various joints, left me disappointed regarding the range. But with the improvements on the sculpt seen earlier, let's see whether Mr. Wick over here meets the standards of an anime high schooler. While the head, as connected by a ball joint, can move side to side, up and down movement due to the short neck, mullet, and the highly defined jaw limits up and down movement. Due to the implementation of butterfly joints, shoulder movement is fine, the elbows can bend over 90 degrees, run-of-the-mill hand movement, and while the jacket limits torso movement, the shirt-only torso allows for a slight stomach crouch and to relive one of Keanu's iconic moments. Waist movement would make a chiropractor proud, decent leg spread, great leg movement, a 90 degrees knee bend, stiff feet movement, and a toe bend. So regarding Mr. Wick's range and posability, not only is it a vast improvement over the previous iteration, but also a figure that's comfortable in wielding firearms in various poses, making for a figure that rivals the likes of the Figure Arts line and only being behind Figma figures. So regarding my final thoughts, Mafex's iteration of John Wick from the 4th film is a fantastic release as Mafex poured their heart and soul into bringing the miniature version of Mr. Wick to real life, as portrayed through the beautiful on-screen actress Sculpt, a various assortment of accompanying accessories, a wide range of posability, and a GigaChad height that not only makes it a big improvement over its predecessor, but also a great basis for what is to come. In doing so, if you're a fan of either John Wick, action movies, or quality figures overall, I would highly recommend this figure and give it a ranking of an A.